My mom said my generation always wanted praise for doing the bare minimum. That wasn't an accomplishment. It was just what I needed to do, like graduating high school.
Red flag on the play.
Hello, if you're just watching this video on the day that it comes out, it's Halloween and my 34th birthday. I'm getting old, so you might notice something a little bit different today.
My outfit. I'm a Foot Locker employee. I'm kidding.
Okay, let's do this. AITA for saying I prefer sushi to children. Okay, so straight to it. My husband and I, both in our early 30s, have been together for over a decade and made the decision to not have kids. I like kids. I have nieces and nephews. We just don't want them for our own reasons. He had a vasectomy, which only a few people know about. Our families are aware we don't want kids, as they've asked this before during different major life events. Our wedding, for instance. We recently bought a 3-bedroom home with a nice yard in a nice area. Excited to show our new home to family and friends, major upgrade to our previous home. We hosted a housewarming. During the party, one of my sibling-in-laws, Alex, made a few indirect comments about all this space, and kids would love it in our house, etc. Eventually, they asked point blank when we were having kids. I made a lighthearted joke about it, which is my go-to for this question. Oh, well, I like sushi too much to have to give it up for a pregnancy, plus not drinking for pregnancy and breastfeeding? No, thanks. I tried to make it very lighthearted and laugh it off. Most people just laugh along. That seemed to anger Alex, and I was told children are a joy, and a good mother puts her kids before everything else.
Who's she the mother of? A hypothesis? What are you talking about?
That's right. Hypothetical mothers, you put your ghost children before yourself. Happy Halloween. That's the message for today. I agreed. Children are a joy. I like spending time with the nieces and nephews, and obviously I can't be a good mom if I chose sushi over kids, so I just won't be a mom. Paraphrased. Still trying to brush it off in a gentle way because I'm not trying to start a fight by telling them to stop asking in front of everyone because I know my tone will be seen as rude and abrasive. We move on, but Alex is still annoyed and making little comments in their group about how flippant I am about it and how when it finally happens, then I'll understand. My husband heard this and jokingly said, well, if she gets pregnant, that'll be a problem for the divorce lawyers. That seemed to piss them off more, but they stopped. Yeah, I would reckon. That's not even doubling, that's tripling down. With the holidays coming up, we have not been invited to Alex's usual Halloween bonfire. When my husband spoke to his parents, they told him Alex was annoyed we were so careless and callous about our child-free status and to say what we did, and they realized we had taken permanent steps to ensure we never had kids.
Red flag on the play. Excessive reaction to somebody else's personal decision results in a loss of respect and a bulging varicose vein in my head.
That we know they had to do IF to have kids, etc. And we are a-holes to just not care. I feel bad because they did do IF and lots of fertility treatments to have their kids, and even then they still had a few miscarriages. I can't imagine wanting kids and struggling to have them and then deal with miscarriages, but at the same time, I'm so tired of justifying living my life how I want. AITA. I just think this is a crummy way to show that Alex is affected by what is very real pain. I can't fathom like just the mental, emotional, and physical toll that it would take on somebody to like desperately try to have children and then it doesn't work over and over and over again. And then you have miscarriages and I can't wrap my brain around that. But at the same time, this is just handled obviously a very wrong way. Dishing this all out at a dinner or like a get together in front of everybody. No. I also think there's like a bit of jealousy here in the sense that the original poster can have kids whenever and they can just be so, ooh, we can just, I don't know what this is, but we can just have kids whenever. I feel like I'm in a Cialis commercial. I can't imagine me handling this level of sadness perfectly either. I'm going to say not the a-hole to the original poster, and I'm going to say a light a-hole to Alex. AITA for telling my mom it wasn't cute or funny to dress me as a hot dog instead of a princess. So there's this new Target commercial going around where a little girl dresses as a hot dog, and it came on while my family was watching a scary movie. I, 20 female, am home from college for the weekend and brought my boyfriend. And my mother, 57 female, decided it would be hilarious to mention that she'd made me a hot dog costume as a kid, except the way she told the story, it was my request. She said that all the girls wanted to be Disney princesses, but I had asked to be a hot dog, so she had gone out of her way to make me that costume. This is not what happened, and I said as much. What actually happened is that I wanted to be Snow White and had told everyone, including the teachers, that I was going to be Snow White. I was obsessed with that movie as a kid to the point where I would actually get invested in doing chores because I was cleaning up just how Snow White did. My dad and I would watch that movie all the time, and I was very excited to be Snow White for Halloween, especially because my ballet studio was doing a special princess dance for Halloween, and we'd all signed up for special princess slots, and I'd shown up early with my dad the week before so I could get to be Snow White. My mother decided she wanted to be quirky and that Snow White was a bad role model after I got in trouble for trying to cook dinner for my family. I was about 8 and I tried to make hot dogs like how she made food for the dwarves in the movie, and I made a mess. My mom surprised me on the day of with this crappy hot dog suit and told me if I didn't wear it, she'd never let me watch Snow White again.
Red flag on the play, acting like a witch, and not wearing the costume.
She took a million pictures. The other girls teased me for months, and it was one of the most humiliating moments of my childhood. I told the real story and mentioned that I got through the day by pretending that she was the evil queen making me dress in rags, but the rags happened to be a garbage meat costume. She got really quiet after that, and after we left, my brother said she was crying and looking at the pictures from that Halloween. I didn't want to make my mom cry, but it's a shitty memory for me. And it felt like she was trying to humiliate me all over again in front of my boyfriend.
You're getting on my nerves, lady. And you've got a lot of nerve. This is Snow White and the 7 nerves.
I think I told this story somewhere. I think shorts. But when I was in early high school, I bought a shirt from a band that I really liked. They're called Stick to Your Guns. They're like a hardcore metalcore band. I was really excited to get the shirt. I really liked it. It also made me feel like I belonged in the circle that I was in, and I was going to a show and I was wearing it. And someone who is very close to me, who will not be named, berated me for wearing it, made fun of me to the point where made comments about it on Facebook and to my face, berated me for it, made all kinds of jokes. And I ended up throwing that shirt away. It made me feel horrible. It really screwed with me a lot, especially at that time when you're a teenager. It just stuff like that really screws with you because you don't really have a full identity yet. You're still trying to figure yourself out, and something like that will completely make you question everything about yourself. So it really screwed me up, and that was just one of the many instances that I had with this person that was similar. Stuff like this will really affect a child, especially at this age. I don't think you're the a-hole at all for standing up for yourself and your individuality and putting your foot down, because that's not right. And it's really not right for her to bring it up at a dinner table and humiliate you in front of somebody you care about. So, verdict, easy, not the a-hole. All right.
Boo.
Whoa, hey. This YouTube video has been posted on Halloween, which is Dustin's 34th birthday. Hey, thank you. But it's also the spookiest day of the year, so this very cool ghost sitting next to me wants me to tell you that his company, CyberGhost VPN, is sponsoring this video. Why are you working today? They say spirits like me are terrifying, which causes me some self-esteem issues, FR, NGL, LMFAO. But you know what's actually scary? People watching your online activity. It's a haunting that even incognito mode can't prevent. Your internet service provider, your school or work's IT department, even your home Wi-Fi router, they can all track what you do online. Herbert here your name is not Herbert. Wait. Oh my God. Herbert here told me to tell you how CyberGhost VPN fixes this. You just select one of their 100 plus locations before you browse, and you'll encrypt and reroute all of your traffic through their secure servers, and no one will ever know about your online activity. It works on all major devices and operating systems, Windows, Mac, OS, Android, iOS, and you can protect up to 7 devices at the same time, perfect for sharing with friends and family. And don't get your pumpkin costume in a cluster, because these spirits know how to make a secure server. Their 4.8 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot and 38 million daily users will tell you the same. CyberGhost VPN even unlocks geo-restricted games and content from over 40 streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus, giving you access to a whole new world of entertainment. The best part, they're letting me give you 84% off your CyberGhost VPN subscription at the link in my description. It's now just $2.03 a month, and you get 4 months for free with a 45-day money-back guarantee. So hit the description link to give it a whirl and to support the channel. AITA for leaving a family gathering and taking the cake with me after getting my feelings hurt. I, 27 female, hit 1 year sober from alcohol at the beginning of the year. This was a huge accomplishment for me. It was bigger to me than finishing college. I told my family that next time we were together for family dinner, I had something to celebrate. This all happened at my mom's. The kids were playing and the adults were hanging out. I took the moment to share that I'd reached 1 year sober and how good I felt about it. They went with, "Oh, that's what you were talking about? And has it been a year already?" I am embarrassed to admit I hoped someone would say they're proud of me. My brother-in-law, Steve, looked at my sister and they both said, "Well," at the same time, and she said, "Since we're all here, niece just got into a specific gymnastics thing. It's been a long road, but she did it." Steve popped some wine they brought and started giving everyone glasses and cups.
Fuck that up.
For a kid? This is for a kid thing? He made eye contact with me and his face fell. I had this gnawing feeling, so I got up from the table and I took a walk. I tried to get through the moment mentally so I could be present for my niece to celebrate her success, but when I got back to the house, my sister asked me why I left without saying anything. I said I needed a minute to myself. She looked at me funny and said, "Okay." I said I'd shared something I was very proud of, and she bulldozed over it. My mom put her hand up and asked me what my news was. I said that I'd told them I had hit 1 year sober. My mom said my generation always wanted praise for doing the bare minimum. That wasn't an accomplishment. It was just what I needed to do, like graduating high school.
Okay, red flag on the play. Rudely rejecting somebody else's necessary celebration, AKA sass interference.
It's really impressive, like really impressive to be this wrong. I'm proud of you. You know, I tried to make it through to dinner, but found myself just not in the mood anymore. I decided to go home. Here's the direct thing I'm being called a butthead for. I had brought a small berry chantilly cake, my favorite, to share after dinner. It was a thing I decided I had earned. The kids had definitely seen it. On my way out, I decided to take it home with me. I guess when they realized the cake wasn't in the garage fridge anymore, my sister called to ask me why I took it. I said I did because it was my cake to celebrate my accomplishment. She said word for word, "Are you fucking serious? Oh my God, Emma, grow up. You are such a fucking baby."
Okay, I see why you started drinking alcohol. It's a miracle you didn't do anything worse. I'd be huffing paint thinner at a hardware store.
It's ironic because that sentence sounds like a child saying it. So, projection. My mom later texted me directly to tell me how disappointed she was that I threw a tantrum because my niece got more attention than me. I don't think her read of what happened is right, but that is why I'm asking you guys. Am I the a-hole because I took home the cake in the end? Was that really childish of me considering the kids saw it and then didn't get any? As I was putting on my shoes to leave, Steve found me and directly apologized and said that he was completely oblivious in the moment. I know he did not do anything to intentionally hurt me. Obviously, celebrating 1 year sober is legitimate. It's a very common thing, and they teach you to do that in recovery. It's a very big deal. And I've had my troubles with alcohol in my days, and I've learned it's a disease. Addiction is a very real disease. And the fact that she says that it's basically just doing the bare minimum, I think that just implies that she just doesn't see it as a disease, which it is. And science says that it is. Also, we celebrate birthdays. You mean to tell me that that's worth celebrating and 1 year sober isn't? Congrats for being birthed, which is not even something that you chose, but congrats. That doesn't make any sense. This completely neglects the very, very hard work and sacrifices that it takes to accomplish something like this. It's very difficult. I also don't like that how they decided to pour wine right in front of her from the toast to toast at a child's accomplishment. No less. That just feels to me like they're doing this on purpose to try and poke fun at her or get at her or something. It's like them being like, we can actually handle our alcohol, unlike someone we know. So I hate this. I don't like it at all. Verdict, you are not the a-hole. AITA for hating my wife's creepy hobby project. Okay, this sounds insane, but I swear my wife is totally normal otherwise, which makes this so strange to me. For context, we're both in our later 30s and live in a pretty typical suburban neighborhood where we all know each other. My wife has always loved trashy movies and shows about infidelities, and she eats up true crime about spouses killing their cheating partners too. She just says something about it makes her morbidly fascinated, in her words. Well, a couple of months back, we had a scandal in our neighborhood where a married couple in the neighborhood divorced because the husband cheated. No, there wasn't a murder or anything like that, but she became obsessed with learning every detail from every neighbor. No matter the occasion, be it a baby shower or a cookout, she would bring it up, hoping there would be any new information. A month later is when I stumbled on the board in her home office. I was doing some cleaning and I found a massive bulletin board facing away, leaned up against the wall. Curiosity got the better of me and I turned it around to find a literal fucking conspiracy board of all our neighbors' pictures with lines of yarn connecting each other like the fucking Pepe Sylvia meme. Is that the Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme, I think?
Flag.
I was totally confused and asked what this was, and she told me it was a hobby she had started recently where she would track rumors or likely candidates for cheating on the board. The yarn represented who was possibly cheating with whom. She had clearly gotten all the images on Facebook or some social media and printed them out and even had a few sticky notes with details.
Getting creepier.
I told her this was creepy and insane, and she said maybe if I was doing it as a man, but she is just having harmless fun as a hobby, and she wouldn't be crazy and try to oust anyone based on rumors. She just likes feeling like a detective. She told me to view it like a creative art piece. No, I think this is weird no matter who is doing it. It's Halloween. I'm in the spirit. I'm willing to listen. Here we go. I was still super weirded out, but let it go. Or I tried. I thought about it a lot. Well, every now and then I admit to checking the board while cleaning, but just a couple of days ago, I looked to see that now I was on the board with a yarn attached to a neighbor's wife I am casual friends with. I asked her why she would add me if she thought I was cheating, and she said that it was a different yarn color for potential matches for cheating. She said if it makes me feel better, she was planning on adding herself to the board soon. Well, I got pissed and kind of lost my temper about it. I told her to get rid of the board or our marriage will be in trouble. Things have been super rocky since. Sorry for the long post. I am starting to feel bad and it hit me more than usual this morning. Should I apologize to her? And before you ask, no. I don't suspect her of cheating. Honestly, I wish she was because it would at least make more sense than this. Look, I love gossip just as much as the next person. You know, I love some hot goss. Like when my girlfriend comes home and she says, listen to this shit, I'm listening. I got my feet kicking like I'm little orphan Annie. I'm ready to go. But there's a limit. This is kind of inching pretty close to that limit. You've got a problem if you're just in your house alone and just, looks like this neighbor's been mowing more than one lawn. Now, I think divorcing is a bit of an overreaction. I just think this is a behavior that needs to be contained and fixed or just different before it just completely goes off the rails. Obviously, not the a-hole, but there is an update. Things can change here. We'll see. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Firstly, I appreciate all the concern and NTAs. It gave me the courage to approach her and tell her that while I may have overreacted by threatening our marriage, I think it is a creepy thing to do. She apologized and said she would get rid of the board. I thought we were good. Literally 2 days later, shit hits the fan. Our happily married next door neighbor finds a woman's bra under the bed that does not belong to her. It doesn't take long for the whole neighborhood to find out. While my wife is giddy, like jumping up and down for joy, she shows me the board, which she still didn't trash like she promised. And of course, the husband was marked with yarn, meaning he was likely to cheat. She told me the board was accurate after all, and maybe she should keep her hobby around.
Maybe you should phase it out for something else. Like, how about quilting? I always appreciate good patchwork.
I was definitely suspicious, so I looked at the board again later. It looked different from the last time I saw it before the latest scandal. Instead of the yarn connecting to another neighbor, the cheating husband's yarn connected to a post-it with a question mark. Firstly, it was the only question mark there, and I swore it wasn't there the last time I saw the board. So either she changed it after the cheating to prove a point, or slightly before it happened, which made me even more suspicious either way. Now I felt like I was the detective, and I was going crazy. I went over to the cheating husband's house to ask a few questions. The wife was staying at her parents', so it was just the two of us. I asked him if he actually did it, and he said no, he would never. Then I asked if my wife had been over recently. He said one day while you were at work, his wife asked her to water a plant that they had while they were both away and told her where the key was. So yes, I immediately raised an eyebrow. I asked if he still had the bra, and he was getting nervous and told me not to get the wrong idea. I said, don't worry. He still had the bra, and I looked at it. It was my wife's, but one I knew she almost never wore because it was from a lingerie set I bought her one Christmas. She said she was uncomfortable.
Well, it looks like the real home wrecker. lives next door.
I told my neighbor I needed to talk to my wife and ran out, but I told him not to worry. Well, I think there should be a lot of worrying going on here. This is insane. I approached her with the bra and asked her what was going on. She played stupid, but I told her to cut the BS. I asked if she had either cheated on me with him or planted it there. Either way, she was in trouble. She confessed to planting the bra and said it was to make me admit her hobby was valid or something.
The previous sentence is under further review.
It was to make me admit her hobby was valid or something.
Sorry, I just had to make sure I heard that right, and unfortunately, I did. Holy sweet, delicate shit.
I flipped on her. I said this was worse than her cheating on me because instead of ruining just our marriage, she ruined our neighbors and ours. I demanded she call the wife and admit to everything, even sending pictures of the board. I even showed the Reddit post, which actually helped convince her my wife had planted it rather than cheated with her husband. Well, they made up, but now I have no idea what to do. I am barely speaking to my wife, and it is only a matter of time before the entire neighborhood figures this out. I seriously need advice. Wow. I've read a lot of Reddit stories on this channel. I've read a lot of crazy stuff, especially from the AITA subreddit. And sir, yours is right up there with the nuttiest. You are so far away from being the a-hole here that it's scary. It's scaring me on my birthday. Of all days, okay? Which I know my birthday is on Halloween, but it doesn't matter, okay? It's scaring me. I don't have any helpful insight here because this one is so crazy that the advice is just so simple. Divorce. There's no other answer. So let's just move on to the next story, okay? Click the box in the top left-hand corner, and we'll get started on some more Reddit stories, okay? That is my time. Toodles. Once again, thank you to CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring today's video. Please hit the link in the description and get 84% off your subscription.